news on Sunrise. Coming up this morning, government secures sixth straight oversubscription as investors offer 4.64 billion cedis above 5.866 billion cedis target, representing 79.1% oversubscription. Also in the bulletin, Energy Analyst says TOR refurbishment will introduce new fuel pricing regime, ease Forex pressures and create jobs for the youth.
Instead of using international benchmark prices to set petroleum products, we are likely going to develop our own local benchmark to set petroleum products. And mostly these pricing are likely going to be in Cedis. So it addresses the issue of exchange rate.
Plus, Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy (CEMSI) backs passage of 2026 Energy Levies Amendment Bill to scrap fuel oil exemptions, hike charges to block smuggling and tax evasion losses.
Tax refund system relating to industries buying fuel oil, moving from 90 days to 14 days.
Government has been losing about 250 million Ghana cedis annually on these fuel oils because of the tax exemptions.
I am Christabel. Success Trevor will bring you details of our headlines and other stories shortly. Don't go away. Now, government maintained its strong run on the domestic money market, securing a sixth straight oversubscription in Treasury bill auction held on July 31, 2026. For tender 2018, the state targeted 5.866 billion cedis across the standard 91 to 182 and 364 day bills. But investor appetite was far higher, offering bids totaling 10.505 billion cedis and oversubscription of rate of 79.1%. This 3 Business Report has more.
That is a subscription rate of 179.1%, an oversubscription rate of 79.1%, and an acceptance rate of 82.4%, as government accepted 8.651 billion cedis of the 10.505 billion cedis investors offered. The 91-day bill attracted bids worth 2.273 billion cedis, while government took 972.9 million cedis at a yield of 5.76%. For the 182-day bill, offers totaled 757.9 million cedis, with 501.4 million cedis accepted at an interest rate of 7.64%. Demand was strongest for the longest tenor. The 364-day bill pulled in 7.474 billion cedis in bids, with government accepting 7.177 billion cedis at a yield of 12.98%. However, 3 Business notes that the 6th consecutive oversubscription shows sustained investor confidence in government paper, even as yield strength shows borrowing costs remain higher year on year, especially for longer tenors, reflecting tighter liquidity and inflation expectations. It also gives government room to be selective and reject higher cost bids, helping to manage borrowing costs despite pressure on the Cedi and rising crude prices.
The Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy (CEMSI) says the refurbishment of the Tema Oil Refinery TOR is expected to usher in a new fuel pricing regime for Ghana. According to its executive director, Benjamin Nsia, the move could help address the exchange rate pressures confronting the country's downstream petroleum sector. He added that reviving local refineries will also create direct jobs for the youth. Nsia's comments follow President John Mahama's official commissioning TOR's rejuvenated crude distillation unit and witnessing the official receipt of Ghana Jubilee crude for local refinery. We'll bring you that in our subsequent bulletins. Now, Parliament has passed the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill 2026 to increase the rate of the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy on fuel, oil, and the road fund levy on fuel oil. Government says this will help address significant leakages and abuses within government's fuel subsidy programs and stop a tax evasion scheme in the downstream petroleum sector. Take a listen to Finance Minister Dr. Cedi Atuforsen.
Tax evasion scheme in the downstream petroleum industry, and there is an urgent need to cure that tax evasion scheme. There has been a potential revenue loss of about $25 million from January to June this year, and this stems from the fact that diesel has been misclassified as fuel oil by certain individuals. We are going to amend the Revenue Administration Act to make the tax refund system relating to industries buying fuel oil move it from 90 days to 14 days. If care is not taken, the state will lose in excess of 1 billion Ghana cedis per annum on the back of smuggling. The Speaker, the activity is indeed illegal, but the quickest route to fix this leakage is to level the arbitrage so that there will not be incentive for an individual or an institution to smuggle.
That was Finance Minister Dr. Cedi Atuforsen as Parliament passes the 2026 Energy Levies Amendment to hike fuel oil charges and block tax evasion in the downstream sector. Meanwhile, SEMSI has backed government's amendment of the Energy Sector Levies Bill, which removes exemptions on fuel oil to curb smuggling as the country loses an estimated 250 million cedis annually under the current exemption regime.
Government has been losing about 250 million Ghana cedis annually on these fuel oils because of the tax exemptions. And mostly these fuel oil are diverted into the market as gas oil and sold to some petroleum consumers. And on these sales are built on the taxes. So whilst government is losing, some private individuals within the petroleum downstream are benefiting. So it's good that government has realigned its fiscal policies on these particular products so that it reduces product diversion, also reduces smuggling of these products into the country. So I think that we must commend government for its effort. One, it increases revenue as well as also reduce product diversion within the petroleum downstream, and also ensures that products meant for the marine industry or the power sector are not diverted to other retail outlets or other petroleum consumers beyond these two institutions.
That was Benjamin Insia. He speaks for SEMSI. Now, economist Professor Godfred Bokpin says Ghana's decision to subscribe to the International Monetary Fund's policy coordination instrument is a positive step, but falls short of what is required to significantly transform the economy. He argues that while the PCI could strengthen policy credibility and provide a framework for maintaining economic stability, it does not come with the same financial support as a conventional IMF financing program.
Professor Bobkin says government would have been better served by opting for the IMF's Resilience and Sustainability Facility.
The policy coordination instrument is not enough. If you see the vulnerabilities, you saw the recent rain, right? Coastal erosion, climate change, irresponsible mining, and all of that. Okay, and so far, and what gives me comfort in saying that we should go for the Resilience and Sustainability Facility is that so far, there is no national strategy currently in place with trackable benchmarks and targets on quarterly, on half-yearly, on yearly basis that allows you and I to have comfort that this issue is being what? That we don't have that.
The facility, which is designed to support countries implementing reforms to address long-term structural challenges, could have provided Ghana with access to significant concessionary financing. He estimates that Ghana could have unlocked about $1 billion in funding, providing additional fiscal space to support economic reforms and strengthen the country's resilience to future shocks.
We need to make it tidy and neater by leveraging on the policy coordination instrument and sign up for the resilience and sustainability. Because the good news is that you can pursue the PCI alongside the RSF. And the RSF would have given us close to $1 billion which you can use to be able to fund some of those program-based interventions.
Let's now take a look at what's happening on the Forex and commodities markets.
On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis, 69 pesos. It recorded no change. The British pound is selling at 15 cedis, 74 pesos. It recorded no change. The euro is selling at 13 cedis, 46 pesos. It also lost 2 pesos. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at a Forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $87.93 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,046.15 per ounce, down by $57.26. Cocoa is trading at $5,397 per ton, up by $285.
Well, just before we go, fire has swept through the girls' dormitory of the Wa Islamic Senior High School in the Upper West region, displacing scores of students and destroying their personal belongings. The incident occurred at about 7:30 p.m. on Sunday after most students had left the dormitory for their classroom. Information indicates sparks were detected in the dormitory while a few students were still inside, prompting school authorities to raise the alarm and call for the Ghana National Fire Service. We'll be bringing you all of those details in our subsequent bulletins. That's it for the business news on Sunrise. For more stories, don't forget to check out our website. My name is Christabel Success Trevor. The rest of the team on standby. Don't go away.